Bowing out. Theresa May will be resigning as the leader of the Conservative Party June the 7th. That makes way for a new British Prime Minister later this summer.
I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold. The second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
Joined now by Nile Gardiner, the director of the Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation. Thatcher, of course, the first female prime minister, and you heard Theresa May's comments there, and quite emotional at the end. What does it all mean, though, Nile? We've talked to you a number of times throughout this process. I know you've basically made the case before that this hard Brexit kind of crashing out of the EU with no special deal wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. After watching what's happened here this week, do you think that it's actually where we're headed?
Yeah, I think so, actually. I think the prospect now of a no-deal Brexit has been significantly increased by Theresa May's departure. After all, Theresa May was fundamentally opposed to a no-deal Brexit. She had two opportunities to take Britain out of the EU under a no-deal. She declined to do so. And I think you're going to see Theresa May replaced by, certainly by the end of July, by a new pro-Brexit, Brexiteer Prime Minister, who I think is going to be a lot more hard line in terms of dealing with the European Union. And as Boris Johnson, the front runner, actually said earlier today, he will take Britain out by October 31st, deal or no deal. So
will he be?
That's very clear. The
former London mayor, will he be the next prime minister? Is that a pretty good bet right now?
He's certainly, I think, the clear front runner at the moment. He's very, very popular with the grassroots of the Conservative Party. But there will be several rounds of voting, first of all, in the House of Commons among Conservative MPs. There could be as high as 15 candidates standing, but certainly Boris Johnson is the man to beat. Twice Mayor of London, the former Foreign Secretary. Yep. He has instant name recognition across the country. Also pretty well known over here in the United States as well.
He is. And one of the things I was reading today, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but if it is Johnson and if he is the next prime minister, and especially if there's a no-deal Brexit put in place, that Great Britain and the United States might be even more closely aligned in their bilateral relationship on, issues of foreign policy, even on issues of economics like China with the Huawei story that's come up a number of times, that there might be a closer alignment between the United States and the EU and the UK after all of this. Is that fair? Yeah,
I think that's absolutely likely. And I think that if you have Boris Johnson or a similar Brexiteer Prime Minister, the relationship with the United States is going to be far closer. After all, Theresa May was very lukewarm towards Donald Trump. Yeah. Boris Johnson has been very friendly towards Donald Trump. They get on very well. They know each other well. And I think you're going to have a far closer special relationship with a Brexiteer Prime Minister. And also, I think quite likely a change of British stance on Iran. Potentially, Britain could leave the Iran nuclear deal, and also a different approach on China as well. So much more alignment with the United States instead of alignment with the European Union.
As a final thing, and I know I've asked you this a number of times before, but will they be in a slower growth scenario? Is there some economic risk to this no-deal situation in terms of slower economic growth, at least in the short term?
I don't think so. I think that the markets have built in already the prospect of a no-deal. The markets were significantly up today in London. The FTSE 100 was up 0.65%. So I think there's a great deal of economic confidence in Britain right now. Britain's the world's 5th largest economy, fastest growing major economy in Europe. I think Britain's going to do just fine, actually, under a no-deal Brexit.
All right. That's what you've been predicting all along, Niall. It's always good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.